Sales is problem solving. So what problem do you solve? If you're a sales pro, it's important to know that sales is just something we do for someone, not something we do to someone. In other words, the only reason you would ever sell someone your product or your service is because you identified that they have a need or a want or a problem that your product or service is going to solve or meet. And if that person does not have the need or want that you're offering the solution for, and if your product or service isn't going to solve a problem, well, then you really shouldn't move forward with the close. Because every sales professional needs to make sure that they're selling out of integrity. You should never sell somebody something that doesn't need what you have. See, the prospect's needs, wants, or problems should be identified in the first 4 to 5 minutes of the sales process. And then once the rapport building process is done and the rapport is developed, then you enter the intelligence gathering phase. And it should only take a true salesperson, a true sales professional, probably 4 to 6 minutes to know whether they offer as a product or service that is going to actually help your client, or if it's not even needed at all. Is it going to meet their needs and wants, or is it unneeded or unwanted? Is it going to solve the problem or not? And if you find out that it's not, then immediately do the professional and integrous thing. Value both your time and honor the sacred agreement of the sales process, and honor the time of your client. Just don't move forward with a sale, and just let the client know immediately. And as soon as you know, Jim, as I've listened to what you've shared, and I don't really know if this is going to help you right now. I don't really think that you're a fit for this product or this program, or I don't really think that this service is needed right now. And if you can refer them to someone else, then refer them to someone else. You can direct them to where their problem will be solved, and then just kind of send them on their way. Like, if possible, you always want to add value and maybe turn them on to someone else that can help them. Because if you're a true pro, you are there to help and serve people. And really what you're going to say is, Jim, if you ever have a problem that I can help you with, I hope you'll remember my name. Or if anybody in your organization or family or friends or your circle of influence needs help in this area, I hope that you'll remember me. And if you do that, and if you close the loop of integrity within the sales process, even though Jim isn't a client now because he didn't technically buy from you, you could actually be gaining a client for life. So your product or service must solve a problem for the prospect. See, my sales career shifted when I realized that I didn't just sell vehicles, I solved problems. And most commonly, I solved like a problem of space or peace of mind or a payment problem, or I need some cash problem. Maybe it was a towing problem, or maybe they needed to get to work, or maybe they just needed to show up their buddy. When I isolated the problem that my prospect was there to solve, it was a game changer. Like selling a van to someone who said that they didn't want a van became easy when I solved their space problem. Because by selling space, I was selling it really in the form of a van. And that's why people who would come into the dealership admittedly saying that they were never going to buy a van would leave happily driving a van. It's because they actually weren't there to solve a van problem. And even though they had a vehicle problem, really what they had was a space problem. And the van was really just the perfect solution to that space problem. So with this as the example, guess what I would focus on during my demonstration? I would talk about the space. I painted a picture of the problem that they presently had with their 2 car seats in the back of their sedan. And then I started comparing it to the space in the van. I focused on the space that they didn't presently had. I had them imagine the ease and the comfort of accessing all that space. I future paced them, and I had them imagine packing up for a road trip and putting that extra playpen in with all those extra winter clothes. I talked about the roof rack and the stow and go space underneath the floor. And boom, all of a sudden, a van was not such an awful idea. In fact, it was exactly what they wanted. So I encourage you to spend some time and identify the problems that your past clients have come in for you to solve. Identify the problems that you solve. And this is going to help you as you listen to your prospects, as you listen to all their word clutters, as they try to explain their situation to you. Now, it's important before you just start selling your product that you recap to the prospect the problem that you believe that they're there to solve. So something like, yes, I understand how frustrating it must be to get 2 car seats, plus all that extra stuff with the twins. It sounds like you're really needing something with more space, like really good, usable, accessible space. Wow, and believe me, as the boys grow up, you're only gonna need more space. And wouldn't it be great if you had a little extra room for a few of their friends? And there we go. We're off to the races. We're running. I've identified the problem. And I've identified the problems that are to come. And I've even then dropped a few ideas of some potential problems that they may not even have thought of yet. Like bringing on a few friends. And it's funny because I would sometimes then hear from another sales guy, how did you sell them a van? I tried to sell them one, but they were dead set against it. Like remember, people don't buy products and services. They buy solutions to problems. So if they don't have a problem, then they don't need to spend money on your solution. However, it may take you a little bit of time to identify their problem with clarity before you can present your solution. So in order to sell your solution, you have to definitely understand what their problem is.